Speaking of great ideas, this is Marty from Cook's Corner. Great to see you, Marty.
Nice to see you, Amy.
There's a whole new section of Cook's Corner that is, you're going to find Marty there. It's a new wine area and all sorts of great, hard to find, neat wines and accessories, great prices. And there's also fondue things in there. And this is the other big thing this year. What is this and how are we going to use it?
Okay, it's a raclette, and it's a fun thing for families to do. It doesn't involve the oil, and so they don't, you don't have the kids dipping over the hot oils. It is a grill, and we're going to make some sauces underneath, and you can get these in marble, cast iron, or just in this Teflon steel that we're using today.
Okay, so this is some beef tenderloin we're putting
Yep,
on
we're just going to put some beef tenderloin on. We're going to put a little chicken on.
Now this is a Swiss way. This is something that goes back, many, many years in Switzerland. Swiss, of course, are known for their fondue, but people used to cook this way, like in their fireplaces. They put a pan right in their fireplaces, and really, really fun.
And it's still very popular.
Okay,
you can still go there, and you can still order food on a raclette. They actually make a raclette cheese.
Yum.
So it's kind of neat. We found some of this down in Milwaukee at Trader Joe's.
But if you didn't find the raclette cheese, what other cheeses could you use?
You can use Swiss cheese. You can use Emmental cheese here. We're going to use a little Parmesan because we're toasting some breads up to make a bruschetta.
Yum.
So we're going to load some of these dishes up.
Okay, let's do it.
We're going to put some asparagus in one.
Which is wonderful right now. Just was at the grocery store this week and it's perfect. Some broccoli.
Yep.
So it's like everybody is involved in making dinner. You can do this, on your kitchen island or bring it into your living room. Everybody sits on the floor around the coffee table. It's fun.
Well, and they can have what they want. You know what? Maybe John doesn't like, Swiss cheese, but he'd rather have a different cheese. And maybe he doesn't like asparagus. So you just layer the cheeses on top of this.
Okay.
And we're going to make a potato.
And you like to use canned potatoes?
I use canned potatoes.
Okay.
And I use canned potatoes in my raclettes and in my fondues because otherwise you have to parboil them, and if you go over, then what happens is they'll break apart when you're doing them.
Sure, and it's easy. Just open a can of potatoes, drain them. Perfect. So again, we're putting some cheese. Now these are like...
these are raclette plates.
Okay.
And they're going to go underneath here.
Fun.
Just like this, and it's going to melt them. Raclette tongs.
Okay.
So that we can turn this meat over.
How cute.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
So here are these little raclettes.
Yeah, you might
put them on this side so you can see it. But basically we've got our cheese and our veggies, and there's about 8 slots for these, so you can just be cooking all night, have a nice bottle of wine, make an evening at home. This is a fun way to entertain. A little sea salt.
Yeah, I don't season too much. I've got some dips out in front.
Let's do some chicken breasts on here. You can do shrimp.
Yep, you can do pork. Pork is really good on there. You can do a whole bunch of different things.
Now, here's for your hands. What kind of dipping sauces did you bring around?
Dipping sauces. I brought a Thai plum garlic sauce, and I brought a barbecue sauce, and then I just brought balsamic vinegar. Because sometimes when you are eating chicken, just that little bit of citrusy with that is so delicious.
I totally agree with you. So basically you serve, you can put out a bunch of different veggies. We've got broccoli and asparagus, but you can do zucchini, potatoes, a bunch of different meats, poultries. So this is just toast?
That's just toast, and now we're going to put a little tomato on top of it. Again, I buy the little diced tomatoes with the basil and garlic. It's poor man's bruschetta is what this is, which is kind of nice. My kids absolutely love bruschetta. So for me, this is really fun to make.
A little bit of Parmesan.
A little bit of Parmesan, and we're going to pop her under the little
grill.
Yep.
So the sky's the limit here. I mean, then that's the idea, is that you just keep, I just want to check on this. You can see the cheese is starting to melt.
Should be melting.
Oh, look at that. The asparagus and the cheese. Wow, how fun.
And you put different seasonings in there if you want to. Yep, you'll just love those little tongs. Aren't they kind of fun?
They're really fun. This is just fun. I can see a fire in the fireplace, people talking and munching all night, and really a good time.
And you know what? If you're full, you can still just sit around and talk and have your wine, and everybody else can keep eating, and nobody feels like they should be doing something else. So it's kind of nice.
Really, really cool. And I like the fact that, like fondue, you don't have to do a lot of cooking ahead of time. You just put out all the stuff, let your guests cook, which is really, really great. So these raclette grills are about $100. but they're so versatile. You can flip it over. It can be a griddle. You can do crepes on it, pancakes, whatever. So
Yeah, on the opposite side of this, actually, you can do crepes.
Very cool.
So you can do breakfast things in there also.
very nice. Great to see you, Marty.
It's very nice.
And Marty,
Thanks.
come into the Cook's Corner. She'll help you out. We'll be back.
Absolutely.